Hi, I'm Randy Hollenbeck, and this is the Music Roundtable. Today on the show, we have Jack from pop rock band Flowers.
Hey, how's it going?
Tell me what's so wrong with wishing things could stay the same. 'Cause you wanna move on, so obviously things have changed. There's a ghost in the room, and I can't shake the thought of it out of my life. It's got my stomach in knots, I can't help but wish that we could stay this way. Slow down, we swore we'd never do this again, and somehow we always end up back in your bed. And the worst part is we thought we'd never regret, but I know now, I know desires to come down.
I just want to start out with some easy questions. What was one of your favorite albums growing up that you could listen to front to back, no skips?
The first album I ever bought, like with my own money, was American Idiot, by Green Day, and that's still one to this day that for sure I could listen to, no skips. Incredible album.
What was one of your favorite songs off that album?
I loved kind of a deep cut, but I love What's Her Name. Uh, that's one of my favorites. Of course, growing up, I loved like one of the first songs I learned on guitar was like Boulevard of Broken Dreams. Holiday was a classic. I mean, literally all of them. They're all so good.
Yeah, yeah. Um, okay. First concert you ever attended?
I saw the Killers with my dad. It was at like it might have been Allstate Arena in Chicago, and yeah, an incredible first show. I think I was in fifth or sixth grade at the time, and I got the tickets for Christmas, I think, and it was great. I love the Killers.
Okay. Um, I want to dig into some history. Um, what sparked your interest in pursuing music? Was it like an artist? You went and saw a concert, a song, a guitar? What was that initial spark, and what age were you?
I think I was probably in around fourth or fifth grade, and I kind of knew from then. I think I saw Green Day. Honestly, was probably the band. My dad had Dookie, and he wanted to show it to me, but he didn't want me to see the lyrics, so he took like the front booklet out. So for so long, I did not know what the album artwork was because I couldn't see it. So I just saw like the CD. So I knew the album name because it had it on there, but I saw the back of it, and that's all because he's like, I don't want you to know all the curse words they're saying. And so yeah, it was probably Green Day. And then like I just remember a bunch of my cousins were listening to like the All American Rejects and like Fall Out Boy and stuff, and I had a lot of cousins that were a few years older than me, so I'd kind of take from their music interests and then started like watching MTV and VH1 and all that back in the day, and seeing all those bands on there. And yeah, so it was pretty early on, and I think it was, yeah, honestly, probably Green Day was the first band for sure.
Okay. And when did you start playing guitar?
Around fifth grade, I think it was. At least in our school, we had to choose like whether everyone wanted to join band or orchestra or something, and all my friends were joining it. And I went to like this lesson where you play every instrument and then you see like which one you're best at, and they kind of let you pick that one. And I was really bad at all of them, and except for one, which was like called the baritone, and I was like, this is lame. I don't want to do this. And I was like, all I wanted was the trumpet and saxophone, and I didn't get either of them. And so my parents were like, well, we could rent you an acoustic guitar. And then I was kind of at a place where I had to pick either the guitar or the baritone. And I was like, nah, this is kind of a no brainer. I think I'm going to go with the guitar.
Yeah, definitely go with the cooler instrument.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think the baritone was getting me any girls back in the day for sure.
Okay. Um, who are some of your musical influences?
For me and as a band, I would say like the band called The Maine out of Arizona. They're one of my favorites. They've been for a long time. They're like the perfect example to me of what like a independent band can do. And then the 1975 are a huge one for us. Literally every band that's around our age will say the 1975. They're just like the goats of this generation. And yeah, a ton of like older bands, yeah, like All American Rejects, Fall Out Boy, Panic! The Disco, Boys Like Girls, that kind of like early 2000s, 2010s kind of pop rock was like my like peak middle school, early high school. That was all the stuff I listened to, that sort of Warped Tour adjacent stuff. And that's still today, like to this day, a lot of the stuff I listen to mixed in with now like the a lot of like there's so many good indie rock bands and alternative bands and like singer songwriters out there now that I feel like now I'm inspired by like so many different kinds of music. When growing up, it was very like if they're on Warped Tour, I'll listen to them. If they're not, I don't want anything to do with them. You know?
Uh, could I ask you a question here? Have you ever heard of Third Eye Blind?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. I was listening to a couple of your songs, and there's like some guitar stuff and kind of like a little vocal phrasing that reminds me of them.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, our a band we were in college, it was all the same guys, but we were under a different band name. And we would do like a bunch of cover shows. We'd play like hours and hours of covers. We did a ton of Third Eye Blind songs, and that makes a lot of sense. I think a lot of the bands I listen to are also pretty inspired by them. And I love Third Eye Blind. They're great.
Okay, cool. Um, okay, tell me how the band formed, how you guys got together. Did you like put out an ad? Were they friends that you knew in high school? How did you put together your band?
Yeah. Um, I met everybody in college. So two of the guys in my bands are twin brothers. So they've known each other for quite a while, and they met our drummer. So the three of them were all in a band from like middle school together, and they'd all been like best friends for a long time. And then we all went to college together. I met them because me and our other guitar player joined the same a cappella group together. So then he's like, "Hey, come meet my brother and my friend, my roommate." And then we all just kind of like got along super well. And I was going to college. I was going to college kind of because my parents wanted me to, but I always knew I wanted to be in a band, but I just didn't have the people to do it with yet. And I was in a couple bands in high school, but nothing like that was that great. So I went to college just being like, hey, hopefully I'll meet some people and we'll make a band. And that's sort of the first thing we did is just make a band together. And yeah, and it's literally been us ever since. I mean, yeah, like I said, we were under a different name before. And then we kind of split up for a few years when we graduated school. People went and did different things. Me and the guitar player moved to LA for a few years, and then kind of post COVID, we all were back in the same city again, and we're like, oh, let's just do it all over again.
And how did you come up with the name for the band Flowers?
I don't know. That's a great question that I have no answer to. We were in LA, and the band really started with just me and our guitar player Colin, because we moved out there and we recorded our first EP with just the two of us in the band, and we were just like, we need a name, and we kind of went out to LA thinking we were going to find bandmates and it was going to be so easy. Like, there's got to be so many musicians in LA. And it was just not the case at all. We had some connections there, so like we did all right, but it was a lot of people. LA is not the place to go when you're looking to start a band. Maybe once you have a band, then you can move to LA. But we tried going there a little too early, and so then it was just the two of us, and we were just floating names around. And I really liked the visual of Flowers, and like I wanted our album artwork, our first single, to have flowers on it, which we eventually did. And I remember looking up the band name Flowers on Spotify, and there was some like British rock band that I don't even know if they still make music anymore. I think they were from like the '90s, named Flowers. I was like, well, I guess we're gonna have to do some weird spelling, and it was kind of a thing that people were doing at the time, anyways. So the taking out a vowel. I tried taking out both vowels, but that was taken. So this was literally the last spelling that was available. So we just took this and ran with it.
Now, you you like up and left and went to LA. Now, did you have like a plan in place, like once you got out there, like jobs or anything like that, or did you just do it?
Yeah, we did. I was working at Bed Bath and Beyond at the time, which was like my high school job that I would work over the summers. And so it was great for me because I just transferred from the one in where my parents lived in Illinois to LA. And uh, Colin, I don't know when he found his job. He ended up working at Lowe's around there. So like we just had random part-time jobs that we found, and then we started doing like Postmates driving and Grubhub and Uber, and we played acoustic gigs. We played at this Irish bar, and we would just do like cover gigs for hours on the weekends, and we would just do anything to get by. We At the very end we were doing like audio engineering and stuff like that for like live like corporate events and stuff like that. Uh, but yeah, we moved out. We knew we had to have some sort of job, but we uh we were friends with some musicians out there who were like, "You'll figure it out. Just move and it'll be fine." So that's kind of what we did.
That's great. That's great. What city are you based out of?
Chicago.
Okay. And how's the music scene there?
Music scene is great. Chicago's a fantastic city for music. It's I think super underrated, even though I mean obviously it's the third biggest city in the U.S. But I feel like nobody thinks of it. When you're thinking of music, you're always thinking of L.A., Nashville, maybe New York, Atlanta, even like or like Austin, Texas, even like Chicago is huge for music. We have a great like kind of pop punk emo scene here that's like what so many of our friends bands are in, and so we end up playing with a lot of like emo bands, and that's exactly what our last band was too. Like so it's funny, we're like always the outlier in like all the shows we play. It's like a bunch of emo bands and then us, which we kind of have a little bit of that, but like a little bit of pop stuff and alternative stuff, and so it's great. There's so many good bands that come out of Chicago, and like so many up and coming bands that are like right now just like getting huge in Chicago, and we're all like great friends with all of them. They're awesome.
Okay. Okay. Um, what would be one thing you would like to see change in like the music scene, music industry to make things better?
Oh, I mean, I think the obvious one that I would think 99% of people are going to say is uh, social media, and now putting so much emphasis on stuff like TikTok and Instagram Reels and stuff like that. I mean, I don't mind doing all that. I don't hate it as much as a lot of musicians seem to, but it is tough to realize, growing up you're like, I want to play guitar, I want to sing, I want to write songs, I want to perform. And then you're like, okay, I'm not doing any of that. I do that like a few times a month maybe or whatever, but the most of the time is I'm a videographer, I'm a photographer, I'm a graphic designer, I'm a, social media coordinator. It's just like there's so many things you got to juggle, and remembering to post on TikTok every day is just painful, but it's just what you got to do. And it is what it is. It's better than what it. I think sometimes it can be better than like what it used to be, which we got the very tail end of this, which is like the early 2000s. Like you would go hand out your CDs at shows and stuff like that. And I remember we would do that in college and high school, and sometimes that sucks. Getting people that like won't even look at you when you're trying to just like hand them something. That's like pretty demoralizing and not very fun. So posting on TikTok is what it is. It could be much worse, I think, but that's one thing that I think almost every musician I know complains about for sure.
Is there like any kind of social media tricks that you use to like grab people's attention?
Yeah, for sure. I think it's hard because it's always changing. Like what what seems to be getting popular at the time. Like with TikTok, I feel like if what I did that worked last year, if I posted that now, it probably wouldn't work. And it's like always changing. But I think like one thing I've learned for TikTok specifically is like don't put almost any effort into it. Like a video of me just like selfie, whatever, singing along does way better than like multiple camera angles with like HD. Like it's just that people don't want that on TikTok for whatever reason. But on Instagram Reels it's a little different, so it's hard. It's like you got to know like every platform, and I think like one thing that kind of works for all of them is giving people like a um I don't really know the word for it, but like almost like a call to action or something. Putting some sort of text on screen that immediately like grabs you. It tends to work a lot better than just like a video of you performing with some lyrics on the screen. Sometimes it works, but other times it's just a shot in the dark. You really don't know. It's tough out there.
Okay. Let's talk about a couple songs here. Lose My Brain. And it's very catchy. It's been stuck in my head for a couple days. It'll keep on creeping back in there. And I grabbed a couple lines out of that song. Was there someone one before me? Am I just part of your story? And then there's two other lines, because I don't want to mess this up, but you don't want to fall in love. It's like you're caught between a fling and a relationship, and you don't know where you kind of like stand, but you still like it.
Yeah, the story behind that one is yeah exactly what you're explaining. It's like kind of that awkward in between scenario where it's like you know the other person probably isn't going to commit to it, but you're just so like infatuated with them that you're like I don't really care. I'd rather just have one more night with them than break it off now, or like maybe you think like deep down you can convince them to be with you. It's kind of one of those situations, and it's yeah, I think like the was there someone before me part of your storyline is just like I think a lot of people just have this like I don't know, this feeling about wondering like what their past relationship was like with someone else, and like were did they like being with them better than they like being with me, even if they'll tell you like no, I hated being with them or you're so much better, but like that's always something that I think creeps back into people's minds no matter how long you've been with someone, and it's yeah, it's something that's always there, I think.
Like, are they on the same level as me? Am I higher than them? Do you put me higher on the pedestal?
Yeah, exactly. It's like this hierarchy that you're like, you don't want to do, but like people, I feel like inevitably do it in their minds. Like, well, I had this girlfriend, and she was here, and this girlfriend, and it's just kind of like one of those things that you try not to do, but your brain just makes it happen. It sucks.
It just defaults to that setting.
Yeah,
You tell me you want me, your hands on my body. Was there someone before me? Am I just part of your story? So tell me you made it, that weekend in Vegas. Are we just caught in the tension? Is it something I mentioned? 'Cause I don't wanna mess
Okay. The next song is "Every High Has a Come Down," and I grabbed the chorus out of that where you say, "Slow down. We swore we never do this again, and somehow we always end up back in your bed." And and this worst part is we thought we'd never regret, but I know now the high has a come down. And I think a lot of people could relate to this song and these lyrics because, you're excited when you're in the moment, but there's going to be some consequences after it.
Yeah, yeah, that's a classic like hookup story. That's just it's bad news, but maybe you're a little inebriated, maybe something else is going on that you're just like you don't care. You have these thoughts in the back of your mind, but you're like, I'll do. That's a problem for tomorrow. Like, you know, tonight we're just gonna let it ride. That's kind of how it goes.
Our conversations are the ones that keep me up at night. I'll never say it, but I sometimes still get butterflies. And the sound of you calling my phone's one I can't ignore. And I don't know the way that you've always keep me wanting more. Slow down, we swore we'd never do this again. And somehow we always end up back in your bed. And the worst part is we thought we'd never regret, but I know now. I know this high is a come down at 7 in the morning again. As we wake up, I wonder what you tell all your friends. And the worst part is we thought we'd never regret, but I know now. I know this high is a come down.
Okay. What's your plans for the rest of the year?
This year we're focusing a lot on just like releasing a ton of music. We have like a big catalog of songs now that we have that are done that uh, pretty soon we'll start to pump them out. The past few years we've put a decent amount of stuff out, but we're really trying to like maximum output, just get as much stuff out into the ether as we can. And so we've got like a song dropping that hasn't been announced yet. It's coming in a couple weeks, and then yeah, we're just gonna keep it rolling after that. We got a couple of Chicago shows lined up. We're gonna try and hit up some cities that we just hit up on tour again, and yeah, hopefully we'll get something lined up in the fall, in the winter for some more touring for sure.
Okay. Where can people get a hold of you? Facebook, Instagram, TikTok?
Yeah, we're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all at Flowers Band, FLWERS band. We've got a website, flowersband.com. Yeah, on Spotify, Apple Music, all that streaming, YouTube, all that sort of stuff.
Okay. That's all the questions I have. Thanks for coming on the show today. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
I don't think so. It was great.
Stuck in the moment.